Our shields are gone!
Hurry, Skywalker. We're depending on you.
Jedi Crash, this one's one of my favorites. This episode Rob Coleman directed. It's got some of the first shots where you see
Prepare the gunships.
Jedi cruisers dropping out of hyperspace in a way that's very reminiscent of the original trilogy.
We're entering the atmosphere.
It's got a space battle, or as close as we get for most of season 1 to a space battle. It's got new flying super battle droids. I mean, yeah, they're the same battle droids, but now they can fly.
Rocket droids incoming!
It has a really good crash scene. Anakin crashes the Twilight in the movie and it lands in a big sand dune, and it worked fine, but it never really felt that much like a real impact. No glass breaks, nothing really gets dented, it just sort of lands and stops. But there's a much more visceral feeling of crashing, like really crashing. The quick cutaway shots of shattering glass and debris being kicked up was really dynamic. You know, for something that's produced for TV to have that attention to detail, to just really feel like you are in a serious crash and that there is a lot of damage being done is pretty unusual.
I thought it was a great idea George had to show Anakin get mortally injured. Here's this guy who's seemingly invulnerable, can win any battle, and he really gets hurt bad here. Another kind of thematic element that inspired me was the idea of a people in the middle of a war who refuse to choose sides. And they go to great lengths to move themselves to a place where they won't have to fight.
We colonized this system to find solace from your wretched war. We came here to find peace.
And in this story, they kind of show that they're good. They're good people, that they're compassionate by helping the Jedi.
Please, can you at least give us some medical supplies? My friend is dying.
But they still believe the Jedi are responsible for the war because they're participating in it.
Only when you lay your arms down and pursue a course of non-violence can you make this claim to me that the Jedi are peacekeepers.
When we went to do the episodes with the Lerman, originally there was a comic book that Henry Gilroy had read and something that I was familiar with where these Amanin were actually fighting Imperials on a grass planet. So that episode of the comic book was really inspirational for what we were trying to do here. In the end, we needed a race on the planet that wasn't so violent as the Amanin had proved to be, especially in the comics, that weren't going to be such a threat. And we talked with George, and George decided that he would use the Lerman people that he had abandoned in Revenge of the Sith. But certain things are left over from the Amanin species, like the fact that the little Lermans roll like the Amanin rolled in the comic books. And so that was something that was really kind of interesting to see how the expanded universe influenced the story that we were doing.
The rolling thing was an afterthought too. They weren't designed with rolling in mind per se. We actually changed the shape of their tail afterwards to sort of help with the cushioning that they would need as they rolled along. They're really fun, so it's nice to see them finally make it.
It was also fun for us in this episode to bring the very popular expanded universe character of Aayla Secura to the screen for really the second time, because she had appeared played by Amy Allen in the live-action movies, and here Jennifer Hale portrayed her as the voice actress.
Our ship clashed a few miles away and one of us is very badly injured.
She was able to do a subtle French accent and really had some interesting pronunciations of words. One of our favorite things at the studio is the way that she says creatures.
Be mindful of your surroundings, Padawan. Those creatures are still out there.
And we went back and forth. It's creatures. Should we replace that? But how do I know? Man, that's just how Aayla says creatures. So, yeah, and Ayla's a little hard on Ahsoka about the fact that you can't sacrifice 1,000 lives to save just one.
I know this is hard, Ahsoka, but Anakin has to stay behind, and we have to go now.
It gave us the opportunity to have another mentor relationship for Ahsoka, kind of a big sister figure.
And I think it added up to something really exciting.
Watch out!
It's deserted. It's a death trap. You'd have to be crazy to want to dodge those on a daily basis.
Those pods were designed by Jackson Z, and we do see them again as habitats for the Lerman, but the first time you see them, it's when they fall out of the tree and almost kill Bly. and Ayla saves him. And those are a really sort of nice idea, because those look at once they look like acorns or walnut seeds, they do relate to a thing that most people know, which is a nutshell, but they're also 10 feet high. They feel right at that size. Why would a pod need to be that big to grow a tree that size? Well, you know, that's the magic of not quite movie making.
You find that kind of thread in the Clone Wars series, and it's another way that not only I think are we keeping the history, the look of Star Wars alive and paying a real nod to the people that came before, but I think it definitely is exciting for the fans that know this stuff, that have seen it just scribbled on a page, to see it there, live and thriving in the Star Wars galaxy.